So we drove about 3 hours from Vancouver to get to a campsite called 20 Mile Bay, and it's right on the western side of Harrison Lake, and I mean it's so beautiful. And we arrived on like Friday, kind of after supper, so it wasn't dark, but I mean it was like 5 or 5:30, something like that. So anyway, I just it was so beautiful. I ran down to the water and set up the platform and set up my rig, and I couldn't believe how clear the water was. I've never seen anything like it. Like it was like air. It was so clear. I could see everything underneath me. And I was looking down and I was like, I could see, like the bottom of the lake. Huge trees that had been there for 50 or 100 years, and huge rocks and stuff. And I got a little bit distracted, I guess.
It's insane. It's so beautiful.
So after I had swam back, I mean, the water, for being a glacial fed lake, it was surprisingly warm. Like, it was great. And for some reason, I kept veering off to the right there and then having to recover back to the left the first few launches. Like out there, the water's probably 30 feet deep, and then it started becoming dark, and I couldn't really see the bottom anymore, but it was such a thrill. And like the scenery is so beautiful and so quiet. It was incredible.
You're making it look easy, Kev.
Huh?
You're making it look easy.
So after I'd taken a rest, I was so excited. I just couldn't get over my excitement. I was like, I just wanted to go again and again and again. And it was over to the right there was actually pretty shallow. I mean, it was probably 3 feet deep. And you could see all these little stones and stuff. It was so cool flying over them. There was this adorable little dog with the people at the campsite next to us, and her name was Ginny, and she was so curious coming down to the water, and she really wanted to play, But anyway, she was sniffing around and watching. And you can see, like, I was so fascinated with what was underneath me that I wasn't really paying attention to my pumping technique. And you can see my feet are moving. They're traveling from left to right, and that's not good for efficiency. To send that drive right down into the foil. Instead, you're moving the foil side to side, like skating it sideways through the water. And usually when I'm doing that repeatedly, I'm losing speed and I'm eventually going to touch down. So I have to refocus and get back into a better rhythm. I hope that someday I will be able to, have pumping be second nature so that I can focus more on the environment and just enjoying the experience. And a couple of paddleboarders had gone out to that island. There's Ginny by the camera. Obviously a little concern for me. But yeah, so they had gone out to the island and I saw them returning, so I tried to get out and kind of get behind them, but they were too far out for me. But I took the opportunity to zip around there, and then I noticed a nice rock that could be used for rock starting up the beach a couple 100 meters. So I decided to head that direction and see if I could launch successfully off of that, because it's really shallow over here. Like, it's like 2 feet deep there. Like, I was just above the bottom. And so I tried once and failed, and then I managed to do it the second time. And it's so shallow there, like it's literally just above my knee, so like 2 feet or so. So I had to make sure that when I launched, I stayed high on the mast from the second I left the rock. And yeah, I was pretty happy I was able to make that. I've never really done that before. Always when I rock start, it might be shallow right underneath the rock, but it quickly gets deeper, so I never need to worry about that. But that wasn't the case here. I had to launch and then keep it, keep pumping at a high frequency and keeping high the entire time until I was like well into deeper water. So that was a good practice. There, I'm doing that side to side motion again. But yeah, those two paddleboarders that I'd stopped to talk to are actually wingers who came to wing at the lake, and they were out winging the previous day, but there was no wind today, so they just took the paddleboards out. But yeah, they had just taken a zip around the other side of the lake, and it was pretty cool. There are all these over there to the right. There are probably 200 vertical poles, like huge trees, sticking up out of the water. And the host of the campground told me that they used to be part of indigenous huts, or I guess they were fishing huts that they used to use like 100 years ago or something. Don't know if that's true, but they were really cool anyway.